Chapter 1, what's life all about? First of all, I want to let you know that you can get this book through Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Amazon, and Spotify podcasts, which is a book review by AI. Amazon sells these books for $20, and the rest of the ways, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, are all free. Anyways, chapter 1, what's life all about? What's important in your life? Expensive cars, living in a mansion, traveling around the world and experiencing the life of luxury filled with jewelry and expensive clothes, with people looking at you with envy and having the best friends that money can buy? Me too. No, just kidding. That's how my life was. It wasn't like that. That's not how my life was. And when I look back over the past 75 years, I can be thankful that I have lived a good life. How? Part of it was by trying to follow in a similar path as Jesus Christ. I think that even if my life was filled with the resources that provided me with ample wealth to acquire all of what I had suggested, I think that I would still do the things that I did because of the feelings of fulfillment and gratitude that I was able to experience by doing something good for others. I know people with personal wealth that are very generous because doing for others provides more satisfaction and fulfillment than any amount of material wealth used for them. This book is a personal perspective using humor as doled out by a 75-year-old man who shares his life with few restraints and total indifference to your sensitivities. If you are a young person, then read this as a heads up as to what might happen to you on your journey through life. Our society has moved from where we cared for one another to a society where it is all about the individual. Your journey through life will have as much change in it as I had experienced, maybe more. So this book will help you to be prepared to accept what is thrown at you, both good and bad. Nothing stays the same. So be prepared and accepting. Our national leadership in our lifetime, in my lifetime, has been very self-serving, and their behavior has been unsafe for humankind. Just mentioning leaders like the Kukumini Ayatollah Khomeini, the so damn insane Saddam Hussein, or that Netanyahu, Benjamin Netanyahu, will suffice for you to understand what I am talking about. How about the Palestinians having denied the Israelis the right to exist for 75 years? It's beyond understanding. You'd have to dig pretty deep into Holy Scriptures to come up with a moral reason to hate your neighbors that much. I wonder if by accident the Lord said that the promised land was Canada and not Canaan. Would the North Americans welcome the Israelis into Canada with more kindness? It seems to me that people around the world have the option of buying land from each other, and this seems like the sensible thing to do. Taking from others seems to result in a lot of unnecessary bloodshed. Will your generation be able to make the world a better place? I know that my generation has not. Not believing Jesus is the Son of God, but knowing that his pattern of behavior would allow people to get along better would be a good step in getting everyone cohabitating in peace. He was a man of care, kindness, compassion, and tolerance. How does Jesus compare to the leaders that we follow today? Now let's talk about power. Those that crave power are fixated on some perverse view of what they want. There are those that can kill by the thousands to take land, those that are so self-righteous that they need everyone to concede to their point of view by manipulating laws and forcing their thoughts on everyone. At what age do you feel justified in mass murder for a cause? I think they can start as soon as they feel they can get away with it. I think that Jeffrey Dahmer could fit into this category of deranged lunatics. Is there a difference between a killer of 17 young men and leaders of countries that drop 2,000-pound bombs on defenseless women and children, or invade sovereign territories causing mass death and destruction? Every one of them knows what they are doing is immoral and wrong. At least Jeffrey Dahmer admitted that he deserves punishment for his actions, unlike those leading the charge today, killing people in mass by their actions. What length will those that wield power take to get what they want at everyone else's expense? Whether imposing your ideology on everyone else or taking land by force, such as Napoleon or Hitler, the sacrifice in human life seems incidental to them for the achievement of their goals. Now, what about education? With depths of conviction and intense curiosity for learning, you want leadership to have deep insight and knowledge. I wonder what education our current world leaders have and on what subjects. In addition to political science and economics, would studying the humanities have our leaders evolve into more moral people? As human beings, we are very curious creatures. Some have the ability to delve deep into a subject and discover all kinds of things. What drives them usually is curiosity and accomplishment. Education, for example, challenges some and stimulates others to think deeply. I would think that well-informed and educated leadership would be far greater than leadership created by violence or self-serving manipulation. Studying Mein Kampf or Mao's Red Book would affirm that what you read is a critical factor in what you become. Leaders who have knowledge about how to treat others in books like the Bible would have a good opportunity to develop behavior that society would benefit from. You want to learn from those that would guide you to a better community. There are so many great philosophers and religious leaders who could mold our political authority to conduct themselves in manners that would help build our societies and not destroy them. I'm going to mention swearing. Those of you that find it unnecessary and crude to swear, I couldn't agree with you more. The problem is, when I was 7, I came home for lunch and asked my mom and dad, "What does fuck mean?" as I heard it in the schoolyard. My dad got angry and said, "Don't you ever say that word again." Given the working class neighborhood that I lived in, swearing was standard practice with many of us. A friend stopped stuttering once he learned to fill in the response delay with a swear or two. I was careful to pick where and to whom I would swear. My parents, teachers, priests, girls never knew I swore. Well, some did. In this